Oh shit, y'all know that sound. It's time for that weekly podcast, the 60 Frames No Like podcast with your host, me, Porter Rock 77, the Latin Assassin. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing, man? Hey, appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with us. We got a great podcast. I apologize I couldn't get no guests. I think the Nintendo, YouTubers aren't hiding. They don't trust us more. And just for the record, my podcast is not here to shame anybody. I want people to express their opinions. I want people to put it out there because there's a community of gamers that have different opinions, and myself to include the panel members may not express those opinions. So I try to get as much people as I can, But I still got my favorite panel members. I appreciate them showing up. I want to kick off with the Titanfall Princess. Thank you for showing up, Titanfall.
You're welcome. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy. And like he said, I'm going to state my opinion. We are not like those fanboys. We want different people to express their opinions about the consoles or even the PCs that they play on. We enjoy that. As long as we keep it gaming, we want other people's opinions. So please, if you get a chance, hit us up. Join our podcast that we both have. And give us your opinion. Let other people hear what you got to say about where you play and what you love about it. That's what it's about.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Sam. We express the First Amendment rights up in here, all right? And check out her channel. It's in the description box. And check out her streams. You know she plays a lot of Street Fighter 5. That's why I beat her punching bag in that game. Be mad at shit. Thank you so much. And then, of course, we got another guest, HPNorth. Hey, appreciate it, brother. Thank you for stopping by.
Hello. So I'm actually really excited about this podcast, and hopefully you are too. If you are, hit a like button and subscribe button. I'm pretty sure Putter Walk would appreciate that. So let's get into it.
Damn, dude, someone drank a Red Bull. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah.
He let it out tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what you got to say. Video Theory will be on later. The Pettiest Gamer on YouTube. So, of course, we're looking forward to his opinions. But let's get to it, So, the first topic, I want you guys' opinion, all right? So, opinions about the Switch, you know what I'm saying? Give. We'll start off with Titanfall. Give me a little idea of how you felt about the review. And I would like you to name 2 things you did like and 2 things you didn't like. All right? So, hook it up.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think the conference could have been done better. Only because, I don't mind having a translator, but the translator sounded like he wanted to go somewhere else and play. And I think that messed up what was going on at the conference. Okay, 2 things I liked about the Switch. I do like that this is a console on the go. Okay. That is an interesting concept. It's kind of like taking what the Wii U did and expanding on it. So that is a plus. The other thing I like was some of the games, like Mario, Legend of Zelda looks good. But I do have a Wii U, so I have the Legend of Zelda on there, okay? 2 things. One thing I wish they would do with it, okay, is not make the Pro controller separate. Only because those little Joy-Cons are too small. I mean, I got small hands, but you take one of those off to play with, that's going to get lost in my hand. It's more for a child, and you put your commercials out for adults as well on the go. Yeah. Okay, that's something I did not. One of the things I did not like. Nintendo also is making a portable console. That while they still have portable gaming devices like the 3DS, and it doesn't really speak to the audience that cares, in my opinion. Okay, the Switch is only going to make max battery life of 2 to 6 hours, which is a very large span that they said. Mm-hmm. Okay, you need to also the memory on it. You're gonna need some. You better get your memory cards, guys. So I can say, as a PlayStation gamer, and I game a lot more than that. The one thing I don't like is I bought the Wii U day one. It came out with third-party games, and I was one of the only people that was excited about it until third parties stopped. Nintendo can't keep doing more and more Mario Gen. The fan base needs different first parties and third party support. If they don't keep that's the one thing I don't like. They stop their third parties after a while. If they don't keep that up, there's going to be an issue. Once again, like what happened with the Wii U. I want Nintendo to be successful. I really do. Honestly, I really do. I have all their consoles, okay? But I can't, I don't know. And now they're doing this, if they want us to pay online, we need massive third party support and more games. And so that's basically it for right now.
You brought up a great point with the Joy-Cons. What happens if you lose one of them? Do they have replacements? Do they need to be synced specifically? That's a good question.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They're so small, and even if you're buying it for your child, you have the wristband. Okay, fine. But those wristbands can break. What if the child don't put on the wristband? Or what if they take the wristband off and just put it somewhere? It could get pushed into a couch. It can get put on the floor. Somebody can accidentally step on it. It looks too breakable from what I saw. Now, I don't know because I haven't held one.
And those ones, they don't have a D-pad, right? Or they have a D-pad?
They got that setup. That's what I'm saying on those Joy-Cons. Those setups are messed up. Yeah, if you turn it sideways, and you got your left and right bumper. If you pull them apart and you want to play two people, you got that. Each side is one little controller for two people to play. Man, thumbs and my nails. There ain't no way that's going to work for me.
I just noticed. They don't have a D-pad.
Go ahead.
No, think about it. How are you going to play fighting on this thing? Think about it. The only way you can get.
I'm saying.
The only way you can get a D-pad is if you buy the Pro controller. That's like what, $70?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I like the idea of it, but once again, they have a lot of consoles that are on the go already. Why didn't you just do a console? Do it separate, on the go. Okay? Do a console with a Pro controller and bring those fucking games. Forget all the sticks and the movement shit. People were not happy about that. There were a couple games I thought were fun with that. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That bowling game, man, that was cool. Certain games I thought was great with that. But overall, how many games are you gonna use that shit for? Yeah. And it's basically for people who, to me, from what I saw, you can get your Pro controller, but I don't know. Also, that's the other thing. If you take it on the go, which HP said if he was thinking about getting it because he travels a lot, okay, and he could be in the car for 17 hours, and he don't want to entertain the dogs. He wants to play. Okay, so you need a charger for that. You know that, a car charger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So now you got to go out and buy a car charger for that as well. On top of it, it's very vague with the hours that they gave, 2 to 6 hours. So is it 2 hours or 6 hours? Now 2 to 4 is a little better.
Yeah.
Or 4 to 6 is a little better, but you gave a 4-hour window. So that's telling me the battery life ain't that long, and the memory was bad on it.
Yeah.
To store shit. So we'll let somebody else hit this up.
Yeah. So go ahead, HPNorth.
I think I said enough for them.
So HPNorth, what you think? So what do you think about the reveal or the conference? And name me 2 things you did like and 2 things you didn't like.
Well, I can tell you, I'm very excited for this.
Nice.
I think a lot of people say Nintendo, they introduce the future, and that's pretty much all they do, and someone else picks it up, and I see with how you can just pick it up, go wherever, and then continue to play. I honestly think that's the future, because mainly in the future, I believe this, and also the company HP. I'm not affiliated with them with my name, but the company HP has a phone that
Crazy.
that you plug into a dock, and it becomes a desktop laptop thing, and that's essentially in a way this, but it's a handheld, and it also connects to your TV. So the way I see the Switch is that it's setting the future up for a one device for everything. Now, maybe that's not the case. Hopefully it is, because honestly I think that's going to be awesome. But how I see that Nintendo, obviously they said they wanted to do this with the GameCube, but the technology just wasn't there. So obviously they've put a lot of thinking into this, you know. So obviously I don't think that they just did they pulled a Wii U with this. So I like that you can travel with it, because I have to sit like 2, maybe 3 times out of the year, sit in a car for 15 hours straight, and I have dogs next to me. I'm not exactly in the best, situation of comfortability. So if I can, play that instead of my phone, which doesn't really have games that I would consider playing for, an hour, an hour or two, things like that. If I could use this, I would be, all set. But problem is the price and third-party support, because they did the same thing with the Wii U, and sadly the Wii U had more games, third-party games at launch, I believe, maybe I'm wrong with that, than the Switch does. Hopefully, Nintendo does take this thing serious, because if they do, this thing could, I honestly think this thing could sell 40, 50 million. Obviously not close to Wii numbers, but I do think this thing could be a success, because when you look at the 3DS market, that is what, in the 60, 70 million people that could migrate over to that. I mean, this is an awesome handheld, and this creates a wall in between cell phones and like cell phones becoming the main thing, because people say, or they said back in 2013, that by 2017 smartphones would be even more powerful than the PS4 and Xbox One, when in reality they're pretty much on par with the 360. So I do believe that the Switch is going to change gaming. Honestly, who knows what I know, honestly. But what I've seen from, since I'm pretty much still in high school, what I see is a lot of people are seeing this and they're like, wow, this is cool. And this is where things turn bad. When they find out the controller, they're not happy about that. So drop off there. They find out you have to pay for online, that they're not happy about that. When they heard that this thing had it didn't have really triggers, it had more of a PS2 type of a button, what is that?
What is that?
Just a second.
Man, was that you?
Much better.
That
All right,
was
so
me, but sorry, I'm fixing that because that's my door squeaking. So let me fix that.
Oh, what's that? Sounds like a damn Chinese restaurant back there. I'm getting the General Tso platter and shit. I was like, yo, I thought it was me for a minute. I'm
Now
like,
you're gonna make me damn hungry, man.
is my family acting up or some shit? Like, what's going on here? I'm looking around like, yo.
But the thing is that this thing could be a hit if the accessories, they're like $30. I think the cheapest is $30, but then you have the Pro controller, which isn't anywhere close to the ergonomics of the PS4 or the Xbox One controller. Pro controller is what, $60, $80, when meanwhile the PS4 is like $40 to $60. I mean, when they find that out, they're not going to be happy. If Nintendo said that the technology in the Switch is, what made the price so high. What they said is the most expensive is the ice cube in a controller. Nobody wants that. Please, just stop. That is what makes this thing so expensive. Is that technology? And I was watching a video today, and somebody said, Nintendo brought in Rumble feedback, and people were saying, "Oh, that's not a thing. That's not a thing." And then now it's a standard. And then now with the Nintendo Joy-Cons, I don't exactly remember the name of the technology it uses, but a lot of people are saying, "Hey, that's not the future. That's not the future." But they said the exact same thing about Rumble technology. Meanwhile, the Joy-Cons introduce a new technology. I don't remember the name.
HD Rumble.
Yeah, HD Rumble, whatever. That most likely will be the future. Paying for online when you have like one multiplayer game, that's just ridiculous, to be honest. Especially. Oh, and what I did hear is that as long as you continue to have the service, you do keep the free game they give you. But still, I think you have to choose. I don't think you can.
I forgot about that.
You can have both.
I forgot about that.
The storage is just ridiculous, honestly, because a lot of people, they don't even know what a lot of casuals, and this is targeting casuals, they don't know what a micro SIM card is. They're like, what's that? They don't even know.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Is it a micro SD or is it something new?
No, it's a micro SD card that you like. One of those.
That's what Samsung uses for their phones and tablets.
See, the problem is that Nintendo cannot pull a Microsoft. They have to market the shit out of this thing, and when I say that, they have to market everything, because hardly anyone knows what this thing is, because it's mainly been on just YouTube. That's it.
Correct.
You have to completely, I've seen some of the marketing for the NES Mini thing, whatever that is, I don't know. And that's good, because I see a lot of people that saw that commercial and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go get that. That seems cool." But Nintendo, if you want this thing to be better than the Wii U, you're going to have to market everything you have out of this, because this is really important, because I don't see how, if this thing turns out to be a Wii U, I don't see how they can make another console, because their stock has not recovered. They're just not, investors are not happy, and that's not a good thing. Hopefully.
That was my point. Yeah.
Hopefully they're wrong, and now the stock has rose. It's surviving. It's just
this guy's talking about stocks and bonds, right? Let me throw it.
No, but it's just it's depressing, because this thing could do good.
Yeah, it could do good.
But the problem is they have to market this thing, and if they don't, they're stuck
in the right manner. Yep.
They cannot act like Microsoft and market it around Super Bowl time. They have to market it all the time. They have to pull a PlayStation, and you have to see an ad every commercial break. Hopefully they do that.
All right, so we got a guest here. We got Rambo's Corner.
What's up, guys?
Well, Ringo.
Live from the Chinese factory. What the hell is going on, Rambo?
I have my people are in the kitchen, like they're in another room, but I can't figure out how to get the thing to quiet down. So.
Holy shit! It sounds like you're in a factory. It sounds like
my god.
All right, so Rambo, let me ask you a question. All right, so what do you think of the Switch's unveiling? Or the whatever, and name me two things you like about the Switch. Don't like it.
Well, I thought the unveiling was quite boring. We spent too much time talking about controllers and Then describing like how the controller was actually going to work within the game, and I mean, it just seemed too much technicality focused, rather than just give me games, give me the information that I need. So it was kind of boring, but I did buy one. I support basically. I buy all the consoles, so I mean, it doesn't really whether the thing was going to be like this, blow it out of the water or not. I was going to buy one. The only difference was I was actually going to buy 5 of them had they done a good one.
Wow.
Now, because I was buying one for everybody in my house. Because it was a handheld, you could take it wherever. Everybody could have their own. I would never have to worry about fighting over anything, so it would be perfect. But they just didn't. They didn't sell me on 5. What I like about it is I like to see that there's, I guess, more predetermined first-party games and even some third-party games already lined up. Whereas it seemed like with the Wii U that kind of launched with like, here's some games, but then there was no word about like when more games were coming. And so it seemed like it could go dry for quite some time, and then nobody ever give you word on, hey, we have another game coming in the spring or anything like that. It was just out comes another game. Like Nintendo really didn't do a bunch of marketing or anything or informing their customers. This one they seemed inform you a little bit more, which I kind of like that. I definitely like that Mario open world. That one definitely got me interested. I want to see. It's kind of weird to have Mario in the New York City, but
right.
I'm looking forward to playing GTA Mario. I thought it was going to be fun and kind of like just a change of pace. Personally, I'm tired of seeing Mario, but the change of pace seems like it's going to be enough change to get me back into playing it again. What I didn't like, pay to play online. I don't mind. I mean, like with the Xbox One, I'd say it's kind of hypocritical for me to say that whenever I pay, $6 a year for Xbox One and PS4. However, Nintendo doesn't give me enough online games to like justify paying for it. Like your Zelda is not going to be online. Your Mario is not going to be online. Your Breath of the Wild, but your 1-2 Switch. Even those party games like that aren't going to be online. Those are all based on like local, in front of each other type games. So I don't understand like what the point of paying to play online is. There was rumor that I guess that you didn't get to keep the free game, but I've actually heard now that they've said for a fact that you do get to keep the game that they give you. So they do give you an NES game or a Super NES game, and you get to keep it. So to me, that's still just kind of neither here nor there. I mean, I couldn't even justify PS4 or Xbox One if they were giving me original Xbox titles or PlayStation 1 titles. I'd be like, yeah, give me something a little bit worth, that I'm actually wanting. I'm not sitting around, pining for an old game. If I want an old game, I'll play it. But it's not something that I want. It's not something that is going to sell me on the idea of paying for it. I heard a Nintendo guy, and it was actually kind of shocking because most Nintendo guys are like really hardcore and they will justify literally anything. But this guy actually said that the online portion, he said that the one thing they hated about the Wii U or their online is that you had to use a separate interface, whether it be like your computer that you had to use Skype or something like that in order to party chat. Yeah. And so they really wanted a party chat. And so now all of a sudden they give you a party chat, but you still have to use an alternate device, which is your phone, which is kind of weird. I don't understand the whole phone thing like that. You have to carry, like what Nancy was saying, you have to carry around your Switch thing, battery thing for a battery charger, so you can charge your Switch. You have to carry around your phone. Then you have to carry around your phone charger so you can charge your phone, because if you are talking while you're going or whatever, you're going to be running the battery down there. Then you're going to end up like carrying around basically everything but a TV. And it just seems to me like that like the whole portability issue of it is kind of like made it, it's kind of gone beyond portability at this point. It's more like, why didn't you just create a home console? You already have the handheld market cornered. I mean, I don't understand like why they needed to create a console you can take with you. It just does. That doesn't make doesn't. I don't understand that. To me, just nobody asked for a console we can take. We have that. We have handhelds for that. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like the idea. But then again, I mean, it's just an addition to type thing, rather than actually a standalone for me. I could never see myself running out to buy Red Dead Redemption 2 on my Nintendo console. It's just to me, it's just a secondary console. But the way talked to GameStop today, and GameStop said that Nintendo's doing the exact same thing they did with the Wii, and they are limiting production on this. So what they're doing is they're not taking any risks. They're putting out, going, okay, we know we have this many people wanting to pre-order, so we're going to make this many available pre-orders. They're not doing like what the PlayStation and Xbox did, that basically just opened up pre-orders and said, okay, I'm going to fulfill all these orders by the time that we release. They're limiting it again, like they did with the Wii U, and they're limiting, like they did with the Nintendo or NES Classic or NES Mini or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And that's never going to help them bolster success. They have to take that risk, because there's people out there right now that are like, I want to switch. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 people that came into GameStop today when I was in there asking for it, and they were like, "Nope, sorry, we don't have pre-orders. Check back with us later." And so they leave. And chances are, 9 times out of 10, most of those people you're just going to forget about it, just walk off, and they had that impulse buy right there. They had that chance to get them, and it's gone. And a few of them might trickle back in later, but for the most part, just like the Wii U was in the very beginning, you couldn't just walk in on launch day and pick one up. You couldn't walk in like a week later and pick one up, because there wasn't a big supply of them. They had to wait for more to come in, and then they filled pre-orders for that, and it was kind of like just a cat and mouse game until they caught up to all their orders. So it's going to be another thing like that. It's kind of sad, because they like what HP was saying, they need to get behind this 110%. They need to dump a bunch of stock out there, let people have it, put marketing behind it like crazy. Like every time you see a commercial on Super Bowl and on the inauguration on Friday, put a damn Switch commercial in there, put something on there, make sure that Switch is on people's mind. And it's just not, it's not going to happen. That's the sad part. It's like Nintendo is, I guess, happy with playing second fiddle. They're happy with being a secondary console.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate on behalf of Nintendo.
Okay.
Since I couldn't get no Nintendo dudes here, I'm gonna put on my Mario hat here. All right. You know what I'm saying? I got my, you know what I'm saying? I just took some mushrooms. I took some shrooms right now. I'm on my high right now. You know what I'm saying? Took a little bit of shrooms up in here. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I know a lot of people, even I mentioned this, I mentioned it, Titanfall, you just mentioned it, and Rambo. Why didn't Nintendo make a standard console, powerful hardware, take the features that we're used to? I'm playing devil's advocate because if you look at Nintendo from the console-wise, and yeah, we could blame their policies, like a third party, whatever. But regardless of the reason, every console that Nintendo released, the newer one has done worse than the previous version. If you go from the Super NES, sold worse than the NES. N64 sold worse than Super Nintendo. GameCube sold worse than N64. The market for Nintendo has progressively gotten worse and worse with every iteration of a standard console. Now, of course, we know the reasons why. You understand what I'm saying? But regardless of the reason, it still results in the same failure. The most successful console, and I'm not talking about personal memories and opinions, the most successful, I'll say the most financially successful, I'll use that word. The most financially successful console Nintendo has ever done, home console, was the Wii. And it wasn't Mario and Zelda that did it. It was a gimmick, a fad, along with We Play, Just Dance. Hell, look at the game. Not even a game. It's not even a game. We Fit. That's not even a game. It's an exercise app that sold close to 40 million. That is more than the combined sales of Super Mario Galaxy 1, Super Mario Galaxy 2, and Zelda Skyward Sword. You know what I'm saying? The most financially successful console Nintendo has ever made was not a traditional console. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Nintendo has faith that they can be, when they say they're not trying to compete with PlayStation and Xbox, is because I think they honestly know they can't. They're not going to get back. None of us, we all cry, hey, need to get third party, but let's be honest. We're not playing Call of Duty on any Nintendo platform.
See, that's what I don't understand. Like, I agree with you there. A lot of people like keep cheering on or keep saying this. We need to get third party, but how many of these people would actually take a Nintendo console if they had, they had the Scorpio, and that was what was coming to Nintendo? Would they really jump ship from Xbox to Nintendo to play their third parties?
They won't. No one.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Nobody would.
A third party on the third platform. That's just too much to split the multiplayer fan base. Everybody's stuck on their ecosystem, whether it's PlayStation or Xbox, because it's more than just a console. It's the people you play with. You understand what I'm saying? That's the multiplayer. You know, no one's gonna jump on the Nintendo platform to play with randoms. When you're a team, when you're clique or whatever, when your clan is on this other platform. You understand? All right, and a lot of these games rely on streaming and YouTube, stuff like that. Nintendo's not going to allow that. That's one thing people got to consider. I made a video yesterday, and this will go on to the next topic, right? But I'm going to segue into this next topic. Yesterday, I released a video on this channel, so shameless plug, on 4 keys of what I think Nintendo need to do to bring success to the Switch. And I'll just go over it briefly because I want each of you to see if you could provide 2. But I'm just going to go over my points briefly. The first point I brought up was first party, but not the first party they have now. They need to create new first party icons. Keep who you have, because every generation that experiences Nintendo for the first time, they should get the same feelings we had when we were kids and we experienced Nintendo for the first time. So I'm not asking for you to change Mario, Zelda. Keep them the way they are, because there's always a new generation of gamers that play on a Nintendo console for the first time. But create new franchises for those who've been there the longest. For those who've been around since the NES, since the Super NES, create new franchise for us old farts, Maybe get with Marvel and create a fucking superhero game. Create games like Infamous. Just do something for the older crowd, because some of us lost our taste with Mario. You know what I mean? That was my first point. My second point was get third-party support, but not the traditional AAA games that's going to be on PS4 and Xbox One, because it's going to fail. Because who's going to pay $60 for an inferior version of a game when you could get it on a $250 console that's superior? No one's going to buy the inferior version. What Nintendo needs to do is foster relationships with these third-party to create unique games, exclusive games for the Nintendo platform, even if it means if they put up a little bit of the budget, or if they buy marketing rights and they put up the thing for the marketing, Exclusive titles from EA, from Activision, specifically for the Wii, with support from Nintendo, would be a big deal. Don't go after the Call of Duties and the Battlefield, because you're going to fail, because those games are better on Xbox and PlayStation PC. Go for unique, exclusive third-party games that people could be like, you know what? That adds to the appeal for the Switch. The third point, since you're going with this ARM architecture, I would assume development is easier. That means don't delay your games. It should be easy to develop for. You should be pushing them out in a timely cycle, faster than what we're getting on the Xbox One and PS4. Because this is a tablet processor. It's tablet gaming. So development should be a lot easier. 2-year cycles to get games out with little to no delays. And then my final point was, and this is probably what's going to go against the grain, go after the mobile developers. Now, hear me out. This is probably my biggest point. My brother-in-law, he runs he's a streamer, but he's a mobile game streamer. So I learned about mobile gaming through him and shit, right? And mobile gaming has tons of fucking games. And there is a huge gaming community with mobile. They don't do no fanboy shit. They don't have YouTubes making fun of people. That's why nobody knows about them. But there are millions of people who dedicate gaming and money just to mobile gaming. They play shooters. They have party chat. They play RPGs. They play MMOs. If Nintendo goes after, force a relationship with those developers who are already used to making games on this mobile processor, ARM architecture, and give them a bigger budget, you will see some unique experiences that you won't get on console from these experienced mobile developers. Bigger budget JRPGs, bigger budget shooters, bigger budget MOBAs. You know what I'm saying? And I think if Nintendo goes after them, you could see a console or this platform have tons of unique, cool games. You know what I'm saying? That would be very attractive to, at a minimum, gamers who want a secondary platform. Instead of buying a PS4 and an Xbox, they'll buy a PS4 and a Switch, or an Xbox and a Switch, or a PC and a Switch. You understand what I'm saying? If you could create a platform like that that could attract gamers as a secondary platform, that shit will sell a lot. You know, because you'll have Xbox gamers look at it as, I'm not going to get a fucking PS4. I'm going to get a Switch. You have PS4 gamers be like, you know what? I'm not getting no Xbox. I'm going to get a Switch. You have PC gamers saying, you know what? I don't need consoles. Most of the games are on PC. PC runs better. PC Master Race and all that. I'm going to get something unique that I can't get at all on PC. I'm going to get me a Switch. That little three-prong attack could truly pull and make Nintendo a successful console just simply off the backs of every gaming community wanting it as a secondary platform. That's just my take. What do you guys think? Princess, we'll start with you.
Well, for me, I agree with you. First of all, it needs to support the third party, but different stuff. Different. It has to be, like you said, not what's on other consoles. Don't port that other shit in, because it's not going to run as good, and nobody ain't going to buy it. Okay? Nobody's not going to support that shit. I agree with that. The other thing is to expand their first parties. Yeah, like you said. See, you were on note with what I was thinking. Expand your first parties and make newer games. Keep your Marios, your Zeldas. You know, I mean, that's your niche. Keep that stuff. I ain't saying get rid of it. Keep that stuff. People like that shit. You know, Splatoon and all that. Keep that stuff. But you need newer first parties. The other thing I thought about, if you're going to charge for online, at least have an achievement system. Make something up, like call it Nintendo Awards. Make your gamer score like Mario coins or something.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
That you could use. Yeah. Have an achievement thing. Make Mario coins or something. Since you know a lot of people love Mario and they think of Nintendo, I think of Mario. Make it a Mario coin thing.
Yeah. And then do like
something
like a Triforce level gamer, like some shit like that. That wouldn't be that would be pretty cool if they did some shit like that.
These are some of the things. With what you said was pretty much what I was thinking of, but I had to add that third thing in. If you're going to do online, you got to do some sort of achievement system, and you got to have more games to play online. They don't have enough games. That's why they need new things. They need newer IPs, like you said. They need to bring out newer games, not stuff. Don't put them in that's on the Xbox already or PlayStation already. Don't bring that shit in there. People don't want that shit. They want something new. Something new. And like you said, it's almost like like a handheld, like a phone or a tablet or whatever. Like you said, there's lots of money in there. I know there is. You see people on Facebook talking about it all the time. Their Facebook groups doing the shit on tablet and phone.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot. It's a big freaking business. It really is. I've seen it. I've talked to people about it personally. It's there. You're not lying about that. And there's none of this. There's none of this fanboy shit. There's nothing. And in fact, in those communities, they've even telling me you can go on certain games and ask people for help passing something. You know, they'll send you help. You need new lives. They could send you new lives on certain games. They could do this. They could do that. They work together. They don't fight.
That's true.
And it doesn't take nothing away from you.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't seem like the mobile gamers are big because they don't fanboy. They don't do that Android, iPhone. They cross-platform between those two phones. They cross-platform with like NVIDIA.
Or tablets.
Yeah, a lot of their games.
Or tablets.
Yeah, or tablets. A lot of games they share stuff. So The industry is huge
Yeah.
and stuff, and I think Nintendo. So,
You're right when you brought up that point of something they should do.
Damn it.
But they honestly, before I forget, I'm gonna just go back to that. They honestly need to have some sort of award system or a gamer score system. They really do.
so that's a good point, man.
If
Great.
you're gonna go online, you got to do that. If you're gonna go online, you have to. They should have done it anyway to make people have more fun playing it. But yeah, let's move on. Let somebody else say their piece.
HP, what you think? 2 keys that you think Nintendo should do to help Switch be successful. Do something
Definitely.
out of the box. You know what I'm saying? Not the
Right.
complaints that we have every day about Nintendo. If you want to defer the question to Rambo.
All right, so they definitely. So wait, the question is to make this thing a success, correct?
Yeah, to help it be successful, yeah.
Marketing,
Marketing, okay.
like everywhere, and I mean everywhere, because right now nobody thinks of Nintendo. Like they just think of PlayStation or Xbox. You know, most casuals don't want to own a PlayStation and an Xbox. You know, they just own one. So I doubt they want to own, you know, a PlayStation, Xbox, and a Switch. So you need to market this thing. And then the second thing that they definitely need to do is probably third-party games, because casuals they're not going to want to play Mario, you know, all that stuff when there's like only 5 of those, you know, 5 games like that. You need a lot of games, and you need a lot of third-party support. And you know, I heard a lot of things like Take-Two said that they're really excited about this. I don't know if they said that about the Wii U. You know, they probably did. Hopefully they didn't, just because I want this thing to have third-party support. Hopefully Nintendo, you know, learned from their mistakes, and they look back at the Wii and they see why that thing was such you know, a success. But in short, marketing rights and third-party support.
Okay. All right, so Rambo, 2 things. What do you think? 2 keys. Or why do you think that could help make Switch successful?
Well, I'm gonna go a little bit different, I guess. When I say third-party support, I'm kind of like talking like what you were talking about, the mobile app developers, like being able to expand their game even a little bit more because they got a little bit more power behind it. But instead of like saying porting over Just Dance 2017 and you know whatever just keep porting over these games from PS3 and 360, get these third-party developers to create a whole separate game just for Nintendo, kind of like an exclusive deal. Nobody like we've already talked. I mean, the PS4 and the Xbox One have been out for 4 years now. Nobody's jumping on to a Switch like from the gate and saying this is my only console. This is it. This is kind of like coming in late to the party. So they've got to create something new, a new experience. People aren't going to buy or you know think, oh my gosh, the next Rayman Legends is on the Switch. Nobody's really thinking that. But if they say like, oh wow, like this new game from Ubisoft that I can't get anywhere else is on the Switch, well then they might buy that. So I think that the third-party support needs to be focused on the Switch rather than just ports from, or even just mirrored images from games that are on the PS4 and Xbox One. And also bringing in like mobile developers to create, that would also create a game that I guess you can't get on PS4 and Xbox One, but yet also introduce a whole new market to where maybe if the mobile market wanted to free up their phone for something else, they could actually get the Switch and still be able to walk around and carry it around with them and still play their game on a bigger screen than what their phone is. So I mean, it definitely opens up a new market to them, and it seems like they have a very target ability to be able to hit that market perfectly. The second thing is, I think that, oh man, you said like out of the box because they would have to change it, but I don't think they can. Change this online app thing. they to me that's going to be a very hindrance with them as far as like having them grow or be successful, is because if they do create this online app and it's, pay, even if it's 10-20 bucks, whatever it is a month, for your on your phone, that's just something else you have to keep up with in order to play this. So they need to make it, they should have made it like streamlined to where you could talk back and forth on the console. Everything's connected through the console. I see that they could possibly do it through their universe that they have and through their UI, but I just hope that they can see this, or hope that enough people like speak out about this app thing, about an additional feature, in order to like just put the app where you charge it, like on the console, just down like where you can download the app on the console, but yet still use the console in order to do it. I think that's a big key feature. But I personally, that was a big turning point for me, is having to use my phone to talk online.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to a different topic, right? We're gonna move on to PS4, right? Now, this is my question to you guys. With Xbox One recently, one of those marketing firms and stuff like that is saying that Xbox One is at around 26 million worldwide. We don't know that, PlayStation's at 54 million. With that, in combination with Nintendo receiving poor reception, are you guys concerned that Sony might go back to being arrogant or making dumb decisions instead of, you know what I'm saying? They might throttle, do something stupid, fuck up the PlayStation, or fuck up the PS5. What are your concerns about that?
Well, for me, it's a 50-50, but personally, Sony is giving us the games. They're giving us a reason to keep playing. I think that they've actually learned from their mistakes with the PS3. So I don't think they're going to go back to being arrogant. But I do think one thing, they do need competition, because these gaming streets are dry on some sides. Okay, and nobody can lie about that. Okay, they need competition. You have so many games coming out for PS4 this year, it's unbelievable. Okay, on the other side, I don't see that. I hope they don't get arrogant. I don't think they will, because I honestly think they've learned from their mistakes with the PS3. I honestly do.
What do you think, HP?
That's all.
Oh, they're definitely not going to be arrogant, just because they're not in the financial position to become arrogant. Obviously, this is not surprising that PlayStation is dominating, sort of say. You look back at PlayStation's past, and they've always dominated, except when they've made mistakes. And the only time Xbox has sold decently is when PlayStation made mistakes. Now, to be honest, if Microsoft didn't mess up at the beginning of this generation, I don't think PlayStation would be dominating as much. But if you look at it, I mean, Xbox has only 28% of the console market. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, Nintendo has 15, I believe, and Sony has 50 or 55, something around that. But it's just
No, it's about the market.
the market share. It's, I mean, I hope that Sony realizes that the movement forward is that they're going to have to be ready for everything and anything. Because with the Scorpio, who knows what the hell that thing could be? That thing could be a bat out of hell for Sony. Who knows? Microsoft doesn't even really know what its launch date is. I mean, reveal date is.
Or
but,
games.
or games. But going back to Sony, it's good. It's a good thing that PlayStation is dominating because before the PlayStation 4's launch, they actually filed for bankruptcy, and then the PlayStation 4 is actually what saved Sony from that catastrophe. So to say that Sony would get cocky again, I don't think so, because they definitely could, but that'd be a stupid move. I do think that they need to not take more risks, but definitely be more. I can't really think of the word, but you know what I mean.
Open-minded.
Definitely, yes, and especially for the future, because Microsoft could completely leave. They could stay. They could open up. Who knows? And then Nintendo could sell big with the Switch. So it's like Sony is kind of stuck in the middle because, Microsoft could completely leave. Sony can benefit. But then, that's bad for us because then Sony could get cocky then.
Yeah, because then there's no competition. Exactly. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right.
But if Microsoft does stay, which hopefully they do, hopefully they focus on the console instead of PC, which nobody asked for, but Microsoft still did it anyway. Hopefully Microsoft stays. Hopefully the Nintendo Switch does sell good so that there's more competition that fuels these systems. But no, I don't think Sony would ever be cocky again unless they got into a financial standpoint that they could, afford another PS3 failure.
What do you think, Rambo? What you got?
No. Simple answer. Sony depends solely on the PlayStation success. If PlayStation doesn't do well, then Sony's on the verge. Like Sony would be on the verge of closing doors. So for them to get cocky with it, that would mean that they have some other income that they would feel like that they were comfortable enough to where if something went wrong, they could have some sort of cushion. They don't have that. Like they pretty much have narrowed down, or I guess trimmed down almost every one of their businesses to bare bones at this point, other than PlayStation. So I don't see that happening. I see maybe them getting complacent, not really cocky, but more complacent to the point of like, well, we're not having to constantly provide all these games all the time. And so to the point of like where, we might go a few years, whatever, or even on the PS5 to where maybe the launch is kind of dry at times and just let third party kind of like sell itself. But I don't see them getting to the point of being cocky back to the point of the PS3 days. I mean, if you look at it, the PS2 like killed the Xbox One. Basically killed everything that was on the market. Then they got cocky. PS3 did decent, I guess. Kind of mirrored image with the Xbox 360, and then now back to this. I think that PS3 scenario made them see how that just one decision could turn that guaranteed business to a questionable business, and I think that was enough for them to make it say no for a fact. Like, we're not doing it. I mean, if they were going to do it, the cockiness would have came whenever they launched the Pro. The 4K player would have been in there. They would have charged quite a bit. The backwards compatibility thing would have been there because they would have thrown in another thing. They would have thought, well, hey, because they have such a huge portion of the console market that they could have done that and felt comfortable with it. But they didn't. They still chose to give us a 4K-ish console at a console's price. So that to me shows me that they care more about that business than what they did at the time, or they realized the fluidity of the business. And I don't think they're going to go back to the PS3 days at all.
All right, awesome. Let's hope, man. Let's hope. At the minimum, the complacency would be bad. All right, so let's wrap this up with one final question. All right, and of course, I got to throw a little shade at Microsoft. So the final topic is Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? This is what the fans want. They want a little, just a tiny sprinkle of drama.
Well, they want a little bit of everything. So that's what you.
So yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I mean. They want a little bit of everything. So for the final topic, we'll talk a little bit of Xbox. All right. In 2017, with the cancellation of Scalebound, right? And if you haven't seen the recent article from Bioware, Bioware said that Mass Effect Andromeda won't support Scorpio. If they make a Mass Effect Andromeda Game of the Year edition, then that will support Scorpio. But what they're releasing now won't have Scorpio support. So it's not going to be beefed up with all the bells and whistles. It's just not going to have the support. They would have to make the Game of the Year edition for that to happen. So between cancellation of Scalebound, BioWare and Mass Effect not supporting Scorpio, and then Microsoft releasing a first-party game this year not supporting HDR, do you think Microsoft is punting 2017 in the stands? Do you think they're missing the extra point in this fucking? Do you think they're fucking things up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They not only missed a punt, they missed a 2-point extra score after that. Honestly, Microsoft dropped the motherfucking ball big time this gen. Canceling Scalebound was one of their biggest fucking mistakes. And I'll tell you why. Because I had PlayStation people and I had other people saying they were gonna buy they bought an Xbox or a Slim to play fucking Scalebound. I was looking forward to Scalebound. Okay, so yeah, that right there, they screwed up on. They don't even release console or game sale numbers. So yeah, they fucked up there again. There's lots of things Microsoft is making. Now, for example, I'm going to call him Uncle Phil. Said on Twitter this year is not going to be another Halo or Gears. So maybe, and I do maybe, and a big maybe Microsoft has a game or two in the works. Honestly, this better
not be cracked down.
they better have some games coming, because people would be stupid to buy a Scorpio based off of the power. They're not naming games. They haven't talked about games. All they talk about is power. Power is nothing without games. You can give me all the power in the world. If I don't have games to play on it, you could stick it where the sun don't shine.
I said, like, when Sony got the marketing rights for Bioware, of course I do my little jabs on Twitter. I'm saying that, the content, whatever. The reply back was, well, when we get Scorpio, we're gonna play the best version of it. And and they were right until now. Now you ain't playing the best. The best version of Mass Effect is on the Pro, plus marketing rights, plus exclusive content.
There you go.
So what is
there you go.
For all you Mass Effect fans, or for all of those that talk shit about Mass Effect? What is the $500 going to do? I'm assuming it's $500. You see what I'm saying? And then here's another thing, and I've been saying this since last year. Microsoft has been doing a poor job of releasing HDR, and a lot of people say, well, it's because of it's August. They're not going to release, all the 2016 games were planned, whatever. But now you have Halo Wars 2 coming out next month. It doesn't support HDR. So you sell a console, right? You sell a console advertising HDR gaming, right? But the motherfucker's not releasing HDR games. Like, well, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So your new first-party game of 2017 doesn't support a feature that you sold people on. How does that even make sense? Somebody talk to me.
The other thing, Puerto Rico, is that they could talk about Sony all they want. Sony may delay a game, but you get your fucking game. Microsoft is canceling it after they promised people shit, and people are buying their consoles. Now they got to go sell it at a lesser price because they're not getting to get the games that they wanted and they bought it for. So stop bashing somebody else when y'all don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Sony may delay games, but you get them. Microsoft cancels them completely. This ain't the first one. Let's go back to what was that? Fable Legends, and we can go back to some more. Come on, let's stop. You got a powerful console that's coming out, but what good is hardware and power if you have no games to play it with? And like you said, they don't even have a release date for it. Come on.
I've been having that conversation, with you and Tim Dog, on Twitter and stuff. But I have these conversations with them several times. Like I just see some things that they say, and it just blows my mind because they think that when PlayStation got fanboys, and of course some of them were, but they were touting like the 1.83 teraflops, whatever, that compared to the 1.3. I don't know. There's some stupid little number.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing was, though, is that there was also games behind it. PlayStation still had games. There was a ton of them.
Yes.
And so, yeah, these people focused on the power, but there's also games. There was not like that's all they could talk about. There was also games. And now, like I'm seeing, I saw that HDR thing, and it kind of blew my mind. Because didn't Sony like make it mandatory for every developer to create a PS4 Pro mode?
Yes, after October, every game has to have it day one or shortly after VR patch.
Right. So apparently, Microsoft didn't create that same mandatory thing. They created a thing basically saying developers can develop for it or not, but the game has to run on it. So basically, they're going to be getting a 1080p or whatever Xbox One version is. Like it might be a 900p version, running on an upscaling to 4K. Okay, big deal. You're still not doing the biggest thing that you started with this whole HDR thing, and to me that would piss me off. Like if I went out and bought an Xbox, if I already had an Xbox One and I bought an Xbox One S, the only reason I would buy an Xbox One S would be for the HDR and the upscaling to 4K.
Yes.
Like, you're not if you're not getting it. The game just upscaling to 4K doesn't look that much better or anything different, really.
See, Rambo, that's what I was talking about. People went out and bought it for that issue and for Scalebound,
yeah.
and they're not getting it. So they got a system that they can't even use now, or they don't want to use.
They're gonna use it, and they're gonna try to like justify it. But I'm still not understanding why they would be happy with it. Like they're like, even Tim Dog even today was like, they just keep touting this power, and I'm like, sure. I have a PC. Right now I can run every single game that's on my PlayStation besides my exclusives at 4K, 60 frames per second, and ultra settings. Like it would look completely 10 times as different, but I don't. I still buy them on my PlayStation 4 for a while. It's not about power. It's about the people that you're with, about the experiences that you have, and they're not getting any games. I'm not saying, I can't say any games. Because everybody was like, "Well, what about these games?" Well, yeah, I understand that you get games, but as far as like an abundance of them, or even ones that are actually even supported by the features that you upgraded for, if they're not, if Mass Effect is not going to take advantage of the Scorpio, then what tells me that the next Call of Duty is, or the next Assassin's Creed, or the next Watch Dogs, or how do I know that these games are? Am I buying into a Scorpio that only possibly some of the first-party developers would?
And y'all seen my screen? I did a screen share.
Yeah.
And here's the article.
Yeah.
And here's the quote. It says from Bioware. It says, given our spring release date, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be able to support at that time. But we have a strong service plan for ME that will continue past our release date. If we do a Game of the Year edition or future edition or something like that, that's something we definitely consider looking at for sure.
And then does this mean that no developer has seen the Scorpio yet?
That's my thing. This isn't a low budget studio. We're talking Bioware, backed by EA, and they are not supporting Scorpio.
That means nobody has seen the Scorpio yet.
And here's what
tested it out or done anything with it. Exactly.
Are they going to release it this year and still not have tested it before now?
Here's another thing. Here's another question.
Who knows, Rambo?
A lot of the Pro Xbox channels talking about this UWP. That is one code. All you do is put the disc in, and Scorpio will whatever. This statement clearly shows it's not like that. You have to develop the performance for the console. It's not UWP.
No, it's not a. You have to do a patch.
You have to patch it in. You have to patch Scorpio performance in. So it's not simply taking, oh, we'll take Halo 5, put it in, and boom, UWP, now you get all the bells and whistles. No. That's not the case. And here's the thing, if a big AAA studio with a big AAA game ain't supporting Scorpio, how many developers are? Are we going to see Madden and Scorpio? Maybe. Are we going to see Call of Duty? Are we going to see Red Dead Redemption? Are we going to see Destiny 2 supporting Scorpio? You know what I'm saying? So you got that. You got Microsoft still not fully in on HDR. And you got them canceling games. How is 2017 sounding good to a Microsoft fan? That shit is bananas. They are, I'm about to give Phil a drink and a biscuit because this is taking 2 pieces all year long.
Border Rock, I had somebody tell me that Microsoft, in one of my streams, Microsoft's gonna blow everything out of the water at E3. Get the fuck out of here. I was like, come on now. They haven't shown us shit. What you gonna blow us out the fucking water with? Because every time you announce a fucking game, you cancel it. You get people fucking hyped and you cancel it. You're gonna talk about hardware again? I don't care about the fucking hardware. I want games.
Here's my thing.
Take your E3 and stick it. It's all you got. Sony at least is all around. How many? Sony's at E3. They got all their own shit. Even Nintendo does more shit than they do. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what studio's gonna produce a big killer app? 343 only does Halo. Coalition will only do Gears of War. Turn 10 only does Forza. Playground only does Forza Horizon. We already know.
They don't even own Playground games.
Yeah. Rare's making fucking Sea of Bud Pirates. Who's left?
Oh, I did a thing showing
the Minecraft apps. Like who else? Who else is that?
I did a side-by-side comparison of first-party developers for PlayStation versus Xbox. Xbox has 8, but now out of those 8, only Mojang and Rare make games more than just the one IP.
I'm done.
So they have, and one of the actual 8 is, well, actually 2. Okay, excuse me. One of them is 343. One of them is 343. It's Halo only. Coalition.
You got more than 343.
You got Mojang, which will do Minecraft and other IPs like Cobalt, like smaller titles, but still there doing more than just one IP. You have Turn 10 Forza only. Rare, that's the other one that actually has many IPs, but right now they've only worked on Sea of Thieves for the past many, many years.
Sea of what? Sea of shit? Did you say?
And then you have
the
last 2 studios. The last 2 studios are actually kind of the ones that still doesn't make sense. You have Lift London, which is actual HoloLens studio, and that's like creating things for HoloLens. So that doesn't mean games. That just means stuff for HoloLens.
Exactly.
Then you have Microsoft Casual Games, which is like PC games like Solitaire.
Fuck.
Oh shit.
So Microsoft Solitaire that you see in the Windows Store, that's what they create.
You're gonna be playing Minesweeper in 4K.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so that's all the first-party studios they have.
Yo, that's ridiculous.
People actually defend this console?
Yo,
No,
I'm gonna tell you.
I don't see how you can defend this anymore because who's running this thing? I'm done. I'm done. I don't know why I own this box anymore. What's the point? They got games I don't care about. They're not delivering. They're giving me the same games over and over again, recycled garbage. Who wants this thing? No wonder it only sold 26 million units.
Oh shit!
Who wants this thing? Honestly, you have a PS4 that can do HDR, but you, a software company, meanwhile Sony over here is a hardware company, they shouldn't even know how to do this, but you, a software company, have to release an entire new console because you don't know how to do HDR on the old system. Really?
What do you?
But they're
really?
doing it now.
Do y'all know how that like PlayStation got away with that? The HDR on the old consoles. That's because when they released the PlayStation 4 back in the very beginning, you had a HDMI 1.4 port and you had a HDMI 2.0. So what happened is, PlayStation put in HDMI 2.0, but they put a lock or whatever, a type of program in there to knock it down to a 1.4. So whenever they did that, it went out, everybody had a 1.4, but as soon as they went HDR, they sent out an update, a firmware update. It hit that program that they had, it unlocked it to an HDMI 2.0. So now that's the reason why people have HDR on their things. Microsoft just went with 1.4 for some reason. I don't know why. Because they were actually working on HDR before the Xbox One ever even launched, because they were creating it for their own TV.
And that reminds me, because Larry Herb said that the Xbox One was capable of doing 4K resolution at the beginning of the year, that the HDMI port was capable of outputting 4K, but you have to buy another console just to use 4K when they promised on your original console, a piece of shit that looked like a VCR from the 1970s, you could do 4K on that when you can't.
Well, technically you can't.
Get a HP.
Technically,
Xbox
being technical, the HDMI 1.4 can do 4K.
Spectacular Gaming Hub. Who's getting triggered in the comment section?
HDMI 1.4 can do 4K 30 frames per second, so it could do 4K for movies, but it couldn't do it for games.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I think Microsoft is really fucking things up. It just
I think so too.
Between what I just mentioned, and they're only releasing one game over the next 6 months, or at least, because they have no other release date for their other games. There's only Halo.
Exactly.
So between that, canceling games, no HDR, Mass Effect not supporting Scorpio. These guys are getting fucking slammed, bro.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? When they count their sales, are they going to count the sales as people who bought them then resold them as well? Because they don't want it no more?
Princess, they don't care about sales. They care about engagement with their fans. They don't care about sales.
I wonder how many Xboxes are there. Some of them buy like 20 Xboxes.
I can't wait till the next numbers come out from Microsoft, and like Phil Spencer puts in there. I talked to 20 million fans on Twitter today or this month.
Nah, bullshit.
I mean, it's engagement. I mean, that's.
I know.
I imagine that's going to be a number pretty soon. I mean, because they keep on adding different little things to it. So the only thing left is how many people they talk to on Twitter.
There ain't nobody talking to 20 million people at one time individually in a day, or even 20,000 in a day individually. You're lying. You're lying.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be up there over 24 hours, and all you probably do is retweet the same shit. Just hit the button. All right, hit it to that one, hit to that one, hit to that one, hit to that one, hit to that one. And by that time, you're going to need a cast for your finger because it'll be broken. Oh, get out of here. These people are crazy. These people are crazy.
All right.
And I did a video a year ago telling Phil Spencer, over a year ago, please give me a reason to keep loving my Xbox. And I told him what things he needed because I was in a private chat with him. And I'm going to keep on saying that. I was in a chat room and spoke to him personally. He was in my ear. And he did not one thing that I asked for or anybody else asked for. So you're listening to gaming community? The consumers?
You don't listen to nothing.
No, you're not. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because if they did, things would be changing. One, the upload studio would have been fixed. Two, we would add YouTube, not fucking Beam.
That's another thing.
They only care about PC, honestly. Let's just be real. They only care about PC.
This is what I find ironic. YouTube channels on YouTube, making videos on YouTube, hyping Beam streaming, and not caring about being able to stream on the very channels they made popular. That's retarded.
Yep.
You're using YouTube
so stupid.
where all your fan base is at, and you're happy that Microsoft is using Beam instead of also providing.
And the thing is,
and they're promoting Beam on YouTube.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Water Rock. Everybody who promotes Microsoft and or PlayStation is where? On YouTube. Why?
Bitch, no one going to Beam. The fuck is that
Why
shit?
are you giving us fucking Beam? I said this. I talked to him back in December, so it's over a year. It's probably 13 months now, and nothing.
And the
has
thing
been
is,
fixed. I also
Beam
told-
isn't even on the Xbox console. It's not on it yet. It's
Oh.
still.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
What
can't-
takes so long?
You can't stream. You can't stream from your Xbox to Beam. Like you have to use it to a from your PC.
Oh.
Right for right
See,
now.
it's retarded.
Garbage. Just leave. Go away.
That's
Nobody
retarded.
wants this.
I always
Listen-
thought like in the very
Now
beginning,
listen.
like one thing in the very beginning that always puzzled me is that they build this Xbox One as the social thing, a media device, like your number one place for all media.
VCR.
And then whenever you get to it, like I can't share a screenshot to Twitter, I can't share a screenshot to Facebook.
Can't
Not
upload
from my
YouTube
console.
videos.
I can't upload YouTube videos. But whenever I go to PlayStation 4, that was built just for games. Like it wasn't built as like a media thing. I can do all that straight from my console.
Yes. See now,
Which is weird.
like HP said, it seems like they're more geared toward PC gaming. That's where they're going.
Of course.
If
I mean,
they-
that's the entire point of playing.
But wait a
Where
second. Let me say this. If that's what they want to do, then just say it and stop playing games with people.
they're trying to get the last resort. I mean, they're just.
Well, you ain't getting my last resort because when it
I'm
comes to
done.
Scorpio, unless you show me a lot of fucking games and fix everything, I ain't buying no fucking Scorpio. I'm saying it right now.
It's probably
The
probably a
princess
PC.
ain't buying it. Princess ain't buying it because I'm not gonna buy something to collect dust for $500 to $600 for power and all that shit when I don't got no games for it. And you're canceling games I want. That was one game I wanted, which was Scalebound, and you took it away. So guess what? Kiss my royal princess ass, Microsoft. That's all I got to say.
Damn.
Bang bang.
So
And the sad thing is the Xbox One was my first Xbox console, and it's my last Xbox One.
It was mine too.
oh shit. So with that, we're gonna end the podcast with nobody buying Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, for everybody enjoying, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you weren't listening live, you're recording. I hope you enjoyed the great comments. Again, hey Rambo, thank you for swinging through. I appreciate your.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, awesome, man. You're welcome here anytime, all right? So, from all of us to all of you, Titanfall Princess, shout yourself out.
Hey, this is the Irish Titanfall Princess. Thank you for coming. Hey, check out everybody's channels. Support them. They all got good content on this podcast, including myself. Okay, you know where you can find me: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Okay, and you know my podcast. Well, we're gonna have some. Everybody that's on this podcast now has been on my podcast and will continue to be on my podcast. So you can come and check us out again on Friday at 7 p.m. But remember,
Thank
hit
you.
that like button if you like what we said. Hit that like button. And like I said, check out everybody's channel. Yes. You come and check us out again.
All right, so HP, shout yourself out.
Okay, so real quick, I have a new Twitter, and I just actually during this podcast deactivated my old Twitter. So if you actually are interested in following me back again, hopefully you are. My new Twitter is HPNorth with a 0 at the end. So go follow me there, and you can add me on PSN at HPNorth. No space in between HP and North. And hit a like button, subscribe to Porter Rock, and that's it.
All right, hey Rambo, go ahead, man. Say something.
Yeah, with me, if you want to follow me, just meet me up on Twitter at Rambo's Corner, and I'm also Rambo's Corner on YouTube. That's 0 on Rambo. My channel is going to be changing. Right now I'm focusing on going to be creating a show for the people doing a platinum trophy run. I'm trying to get 150 platinum trophies this year. So that's going to be like a new thing on my channel, and then also I'm collecting every single physical North America release for the PlayStation 4. So updates on those, like the collection, will be put on the channel as well. So if you're interested in seeing what games have been released or what games are out there, you can come check that out as well.
All right, that's what's up. Hey, on in Twitter DM, send me your link to a YouTube channel and shit like that.
All right, man.
All right, same, so I can post that in the description and edit it. Anyway, people, from all of us to all of you, this is your boy, Porter Rock 77. Thank you for joining us on another fantastic episode of 60 Frames No Like Podcast. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Check out my commentary. Check out my panels, great channels and Twitter. We be bullshitting, we having fun, but at the end of the day, all of us just love gaming. That's it, you know. For any Nintendo, if you know any Nintendo personalities, I would love to have one as part of the panel member. Um, shoot them out. Let us know. We're not here to bash people and stuff like that. We just want different opinions. We want the channel to grow, and we want every opinion to be voiced. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, from all of us to all of you. All right, awesome. Hey, everybody, take care, and you know this sound. Don't let Zaire steal my shit. All right, call him out. All right, that's my shit. Anyway, y'all take care. All right, peace out. See y'all next Wednesday.